This 13-week cash flow forecast just built itself inside Excel. No macros, no complicated model, and I didn't pre-build a single thing before hitting record. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how that works and why it completely changes how cash flow forecasting gets done. And before you assume this is some over-engineered AI demo, let me be clear up front. This is far simpler than you probably expect. Cash flow forecasting is supposed to be one of the most strategic things finance does. After all, cash is king. But for most teams, it's nonstop maintenance work. Forecasts get rebuilt again and again, assumptions live in someone's head, and every time leadership asks a what-if question, you're back in the spreadsheet, under pressure, hoping nothing breaks. The real cost isn't just the hours, it's the nights, the weekends, and the fact that you end up known as the person who maintains the model instead of the person who drives decisions. Finance teams have automated dashboards, reports, and visuals, but for some reason, we're still rebuilding cash flow forecasts like it's 2012. That's why instead of trying to make the spreadsheet better, I decided to replace the work entirely. The agent owns the forecast, and my role is to supervise it. That shift from builder to supervisor is where the real leverage shows up. Agent mode doesn't need a fancy model or complex data. It needs simple, clean, structured data. And that's actually great news, especially if you're a beginner, because it means you don't need advanced formulas, macros, or clever tricks. You just need clear, boring structure. Think in terms of actual cash activity and straightforward assumptions. So here's an example. For the demonstration in this video, I'm going to be working with the F9 Finance Coffee Shop. It's a chain of 3 coffee shops, Astoria, Hell's Kitchen, and Lower Manhattan, and the data we're working with is from January to June 2023. And the table you have here is exactly the kind of data that Agent Mode and Excel loves to work with. We have 6 columns clearly defined. We've got our account data with sales, revenue, cost of goods sold, labor, what have you. We have our version, our budget, and our actuals. We have our locations, Astoria, Hell's Kitchen, Lower Manhattan, 6 months, and the years and the values. It's well structured, it's clean, it's perfect to feed in. The other thing we want to make sure, if we go to table design, we want to make sure this has a clear name. Let's go ahead and call this financials, because that way if we want to reference this to agent mode, we can call it table financials and it will know exactly what we're talking about. If you can build a clean table in Excel, you can do this. So with that foundation in place of data, let's turn agent mode on. If you haven't already, make sure to click the link in the description to join my free weekly newsletter, Finance Automation Insider. I share tips, tricks, and real-world automations like this every week, and I don't want you to miss them. When you join, I'll also send you a free copy of my guide to 15 5-minute finance automations that you can start using today. Just click the link below to get started. So Agent Mode is now broadly available to most people with a Copilot subscription, and getting started is surprisingly straightforward. So assuming you have a Copilot subscription, the first thing you need to do is you need to be working in the cloud and have autosave turned on. So here I've got this file. I'm in OneDrive. You can see I'm working in Excel 365. Now, the good news is you don't have to work in Excel 365. You can easily work in the desktop. The file just has to be saved on the cloud and autosave has to be on. But you can work in desktop as long as those things are set up. From there, you get started just like you're going to Copilot. So we'll go over to Copilot. We're going to open the Copilot chat window. Now here's where you need to do something a little bit different. Instead of just typing away, we're going to want to go down to this little tool button right here. We're going to click this button and there we'll see Agent Mode. We'll turn on Agent Mode, the whole panel will reset, and now we're in Agent Mode. You can also, once you're in Agent Mode, choose your model. So if you're an OpenAI fan and want to use GPT-5.2, you have that option, or you can use Claude Opus 4.5 from Anthropic. Both of those options are here. Once you turn that on, it will stay in it while you do the work. And of course, if you don't care, you can just leave it in auto. It's going to pick the best model for you. Now, once Agent Mode is on, building a forecast is as simple as giving Excel a plain language instruction. Have any questions so far? Go ahead and drop them in the comments. I read every single one, and I'm always happy to help. So now let's get started with seeing what Agent Mode can do. Now, what I want to do is I want to just create a 13-week cash flow forecast model off of this data. So let's say using table financials, build a 13-week cash flow forecast model. And that's all we're going to say. We're going to give it this very broad instruction and we're going to let it go to town. Now we could engineer the crap out of this prompt, but I want you to see just how powerful Agent Mode is. So with that in place, we'll click send and we'll see it do its magic. Now, I will note this can take agent mode as it does its initial work, as it does its modeling. I've seen this take 10, 15, 20 minutes. That's fine. It's not working on your computer. It's not using a lot of your resources. It's working in the back end with the AI models. So you can go ahead and do something else while it works. It's going to get so much work done for you. The time is well worth it. And now it's the moment of truth. Here's our model. So it reasoned in 47 steps. That's how many individual steps it could take. And now, if this was a traditional chatbot, that would have been 47 times you had to prompt and response, and it did it all on its own. So it built a working 13-week cash flow model using the financials tab. It added a new worksheet called 13-week cash flow. We've got what we can do now. We've got our current results. And the best thing about this is you can see every single thing it did and how it did it. So let's go over and look at our cash flow model, and there it is. So the cash in, all of this looks to exactly reflect the financials we gave it. We have the week starting, the week ending. We have our sales revenue as the cash in, and then we have the cash out, leaving us with our net cash flow, beginning cash, and ending cash. So it's an entire model. All of this it's got functions in here. It's calculating. It's active. It's ready to go. And we even have a chart down here showing ending cash balance. How incredibly cool is that? Now, what you just saw replaced hours of manual work. And the most important part is that nothing here is hidden or mysterious. You can see the logic, you can follow the math, and if something looks off, you can fix the assumption instead of tearing apart the entire model. Now let's give it a stress test and see how it can work in practice. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I post new videos every week, and I don't want you to miss what's coming next. So let's give it a chance to rerun based on some new information we have to give it. Now, that new information we're going to give it is that it's missing a couple of capital outlays because they weren't in the financials. So let's say I need to adjust the 13-week cash forecast. I have a $35,000 capital outlay in week, let's say 5, and a $100,000 capital outlay in week 9. So let's see how it can do adjusting this. Capital wasn't built in. Let's see it built in. Let's see if it can handle these numbers, and we'll go from there. So you'll notice, like I said, it came back a lot faster that time. It's the initial model builds that tend to take a really long time, but that came back in 9 steps instead of 43 and about 2 minutes. It updated the 13-week cash forecast. It shows the impact of it here. And let's look at what it did. So cash out, we have this new line for capital outlay, and I gave it 2. I said $35,000 in week 5. That's exactly what we have there. $100,000 in week 9, and it correctly adjusted all of the cash flow. You'll see our cash balance updated correctly based on these changes. Now, this right here is the difference between building a forecast and owning one. There's no duplicating sheets, no rebuilding logic, and no broken formulas. And now I want to show you my favorite part. So let's come back, and now let's ask it to do some analysis. Let's go ahead and say, please run scenarios to explain what changes or impacts could cause risks to cash balance. So now we'll ask it to do some analysis. It's built a model, it's adjusted the model, and now let's ask it to do some scenario work and some analysis on risks to get us started. All right, and in 23 steps, agent mode has reasoned. It's now added another tab of scenarios, giving us 5 stress tests. Looks like it's overviewed them here. Base, sales down 10%, sales up 10%, some AR delays, combining stress. So delayed collections is the fastest way to go negative. Now, that's not a huge issue here for a coffee shop. It doesn't have that context. Really, the biggest thing, I guess, would be if a credit card processor didn't pay. That's what we'd be thinking about as AR collections. But typically, we assume cash from customers comes in fairly quickly. Some additional large one-time payments, creating payments cliffs. Sales declines hurt more than cost inflation. Compounding is the real impact. We can go to scenarios. We got a whole analysis over here, and then an entire model doing stress tests and showing where we could be an issue. In the first three scenarios, we were okay. If we combine multiple cash issues, that's where we could have a negative minimum ending cash. Although only one of them is truly a sustained cash issue. The other one is just a couple of weeks. But some phenomenal work. We've built an entire model. We've used the model to adjust and change our assumptions, and we've used the model to help us highlight risks and evaluate the forecast itself. Now, one thing I want to be very clear about is that this doesn't remove responsibility. You still review the forecast, you still sanity check assumptions, and you still decide what goes to leadership. Agent mode removes repetition, not accountability, and that's why this works in real finance teams and not just polished demos. Before this, cash flow forecasting meant rebuilds, stress, and hoping nothing broke 5 minutes before a meeting. Now, after agent mode, the forecast is always current, adjustments are easy, and the conversation shifts from mechanics to decisions. Now, once you see cash flow forecasting work like this, it's hard to unsee it. Rolling forecasts, scenario questions answered instantly, and finance that reacts in real time instead of scrambling. This is what finance looks like when you stop doing work and start designing systems. Now, if you want to keep this going, watch the next video where I automate an entire month-end close. It'll blow your mind. I'll catch you over there. Until then, this is Mike signing off from F9 Finance. Cheers.